So I'm sitting here this afternoon with a very good friend of mine, and in this instance, business partner, Elaine Hewens. Elaine, first of all, quick introduction. Who are you? What do you do?
Right, Keith, well, you know some of this, but I've been in the people business for over 20 years now, working extensively with corporate clients, initially in HR and recruitment, and then with TMP Monster for about 8 years, during the time when web became really important and online job started to appear and be posted. And from there, with Warwick Business School, working with MBA students extensively there. I've also worked in search, and latterly with my own business, and you and I have done some work together, quite a bit actually, working with MBA students to actually help them identify who they are, where they want to go, and what their career path looks like.
Okay, so social media and recruitment, what impact has it been having on not just MBAs but on people generally?
Well, there's a huge change afoot, and this has been around for a little while now, but suddenly seems to have gained huge impetus. And I think some of the stats that are coming out now, things like 80% of recruiters using social media to find candidates, is really fundamentally shifting the way that job seekers and MBAs in particular look at how they are going to be found in this new world. So this swing away from waiting for somebody to come to campus to recruit me, to actually thinking I've got to make myself marketable and ensure that I'm using every tool that I can to make sure that potential recruiters, whether they're corporates or search companies, can find me.
I know I saw a statistic just recently about how recruiters are using social media not just to find you, but to background check on you. What were those statistics?
Yeah, it's a really interesting piece of research from Microsoft actually found that 70% of recruiters now actually background check candidates without them necessarily knowing. And the interesting thing about that is only 7% of potential candidates realise that they do this or accept that they do this. And this has been borne out in some of the workshops that you and I have put together and have run with people like Imperial and Henley Business School and London Business School too, is that there's still this realisation that this is happening still hasn't been fully accepted by some of the participants in the room. Not just MBAs that are looking for jobs, but also careerists, i.e. those people who are in careers but are looking for the next step, is realising how important this whole thing has become, and therefore how important it is to manage your own brand for you, as well as for your career.
So final question, and given that you and I have run some of these sessions, I already kind of know the answer, but it's getting incredibly competitive and crowded on social media. I think you mentioned a LinkedIn stat to me the other day. What is currently your thinking around LinkedIn and how it's being used?
Well, there's huge growth in LinkedIn. I don't know if you remember, Keith, but LinkedIn's been around a while, and I joined over 3 years ago now, but suddenly it's grown enormously, and I think the number of profiles that are now sitting on LinkedIn, and you're just probably going to remind me of that stat, is so great that it's become such an important place for a huge community of potentially passive white-collar professionals. But when I say passive, I mean not actually actively necessarily looking for a job, but are there as a huge opportunity for organisations and recruiters to actually find valuable talent.
So the great stat that we're looking for is 70 million growing at about 1.2 million a month, and the reality is that if you're an MBA student, your community, your competition is on LinkedIn, it's online, and you're going to have to engage with it. So, thanks a lot.